Today is the 6th of December. In 10 days, I turn 25. Last year, I done a video where I gave you guys insight into 24 lessons that I had learned at the age of 24. This year, I don't think I've learned 25 more lessons, so I didn't want to repeat a video, but instead, I have realized there are a lot of things that people pressure you into doing in your 20s. People are usually always trying to force things down your throat. I'm trying to tell you, ignore some of these things. So the first thing I would say that you don't need to do is to buy a car, or to be honest with you, if I'm really being honest, learn to drive. And I speak from a position of someone that lives in London. So of course we are blessed with the great TfL, which takes us everywhere pretty much. Now, personally, right now I am learning to drive, but that is because I realize that it suits my lifestyle a lot more. As in, I work from home, I don't drink anymore. Given the nature of my work back in the day, I was commuting every day, so it just didn't make sense. I was commuting Monday to Friday all the way into West London and further, depending on the job I was at. And then on the weekends, I would be drinking, all right? So I wouldn't even be in a state to drive. That being said, I also had friends that drove, so I was never really in the position where I needed to. Now, I know this sounds very like, oh, you shouldn't rely on other people. I know, but bro, that's the reality of it. Like, if you have some friends that do drive, then when you're in a pickle, you can use them. Uber is a thing as well. Depending on the amount of the trip, whether it's £20 to £40, you know, that's not gonna equate to how much money you'd be spending on a car, okay? Aside from the cost of driving lessons, then you've got to pay for the car, you've got to pay for the petrol, you've got to pay for road tax, you'll have to pay for any damages that come to your car, which, believe me, a lot of my friends are always having to fork out an extra £500 for no damn reason because something's wrong with their car. Like I said, I say this all as someone that wants to get a car now, but believe me, in my early 20s, I didn't need to. So it's something that you don't need to rush towards. Second one would be moving out. You know, I would go and speak to some people and they'd be like, hey man, when are you moving out? And I said, why do you want me to move out so bad? They said, bro, when you move out, you can have sex and you can do drugs. And personally, I was just like, bro, there's nothing stopping me from doing either of those things right now. So a lot of people that I know that have moved out put a large sum of their income towards rent. Instead, you could save that money and invest that money. First thing would be to save up an emergency fund, okay? And once you've got that, then you can start investing into other ventures. I just want to caveat this by saying some people do have a lot harsher living conditions when they're with their family, like they don't get along or anything like that. I am very privileged to get along with my family for the most part, which is why I don't feel like I need to rush to leaving this house anytime soon. Thanks, Mum. Thanks, Dad. The next thing would be, and you probably foresaw this coming if you follow the channel, is to drink alcohol. I know a lot of people feel a lot of pressure to drink when they are entering their 20s because it's the young stages of their life and they want to live a little. Listen, you can go out to the club, take girls on dates or whatever and not drink. Let me promise you, there's no need, okay? All you will be feeling is a burnt hole in your pocket and then a continued reliance on alcohol to have fun. I see this because I see it in some of my friends where I know that they need a drink. They feel like they need a drink to relax, okay? And I hate that. I hate that because really, if they had grown up going out without drinking, then they wouldn't ever feel like they need a drink to relax, okay? Of course, like I said, having a drink can bring out a lot more confidence and you can relax. And personally, I can tell you now that when I've had a drink myself, I do feel more relaxed. So I do feel more easy and open to speak to people. But when I tell you that when I look at my bank statement at the end of the month and I realize, okay, I haven't put £300, £400 towards alcohol, I do feel a little bit better. Okay, so look, if you're gonna drink, then go ahead. I would advise pre-drinking before you go out in terms of saving money, but let me tell you, my friend, you don't need to drink, okay? When people say, let's go and get smashed, you don't need to be one of those people, okay? Your liver will thank you. Instead of drinking, what can you do? Well, I would say improve your social skills, okay? Because that is the main element that comes with drinking, is to be able to socialize more. But if you're naturally good at socializing, then you won't need that alcohol, okay? So go ahead and learn how to speak to women, learn how to hang out with guys as well, because believe me, when you're out and you need guys on your side, you might need some guys on your side. You might want to make friends, bro. So yeah, learn how to socialize, and you don't need alcohol for it. The next thing I actually wrote down, and it's the last one, is to have a girlfriend. You don't need to have a girlfriend, as in that's the thing that you don't need to rush towards having, okay? I feel like people feel this way once they enter the 20s. Guys feel like they need to go ahead and get a girlfriend now. I think it's only a particular set of guys. The other half are thinking, oh, I'm just gonna go and run through as many things as possible before my 30s. That I would also say you don't need to do, but I'm gonna focus more on the guys that say that they need to have a girlfriend, okay? No, you don't. You've got plenty of time. I would suggest that you do learn how to speak to women. It goes back to my previous point. That is very important, but you don't need to settle down with anyone really for the most part. If it happens, it happens. And instead, what I would say is to focus on the relationships that you have. I've seen it too many times where there have been articles saying that guys are lonely. Most men don't have any friends. Why? I don't know. But I do know that I am not one of them, and the people around me are not. As someone that didn't go to university, I felt like I needed to cultivate and keep those friendships from school very close. But it all came pretty naturally. And then when I went out into the working world, I made friends from literally every job that I went to. And I know they say don't make friends with your work colleagues, but none of it was forced. Some of my closest friends are from places that I've worked at. So learn the social skills, develop your relationships and friendships, bro. And trust me, they will serve you very well. You don't want to be one of those lonely guys that have to celebrate their birthday and special moments by themselves. I say this, and I'm actually going to be celebrating my 25th birthday alone abroad. But that was my decision, trust me. And all of my friends were like, bro, why are you gonna leave us? I said, don't worry, I'll be back soon. But overall, the main lessons that I wanna give here is to make sure that you develop your skills, right? Grow as a person should be the main focus point for you when you are entering your 20s, when you are in your 20s. Because like I've said before, you wanna be making sure that you make the right decisions to gear you onto the right path of life. You don't want to be one of those people having a midlife crisis, okay? Do everything you can to avoid that. As your friend, I've got you. Looking forward to 25, bro. And the years after that. Take care.